So we've got a lot of news. So we're going to do the same thing as usual. We're going to go through big stuff, like larger news stories, get through the small stuff. I don't think we'll have time for chat picks today, so we'll plop all the chat picks onto next week to fill out next week's news thing. Because there's a decent amount. Some of the stuff we might remove because by now, since it came out, a lot of these things have just like happened. Because this is news starting April 6th. Because we weren't able to do it on the 11th because everything borked. Everything borked on the 11th and we weren't able to do it. That was lame. That was very sad. So let's go through it today for the stuff here. Moving over to this one. And starting with the... actually, we're not going to start with this one. We're going to start with this woman in gaming screaming to get a game removed. It's an offensive game, 100%. They are right to do this. And I am all behind this game that promotes sexual assault. We're starting off with a banger, guys. No pun intended. So this is Chris Scully and VGC. So a game was released on Steam that was literally just like, you are some dude and you force yourself on people and then there's sex scenes. And I think one of them's your mom. I think one of the ladies is your mom. Yeah, includes incest, blackmail, unavoidable, non-consensual sex, as well as the use of drugs, alcohol, and cigarettes. So it's wild that this game was released in the first place. They did take it down. They didn't name the game in the story, which is good. Includes a screenshot of a woman with a hand clenched around her throat. Graphically contains sex and violence. Wild. Because I know the developer did release a statement. So it's removed. It was eventually removed after it was called to be removed. It was eventually removed. I know somewhere they tried to defend themselves. I need to find it. All right, I'm not gonna pull up this webpage because it just has not great screenshots, and it names the game. But the developers put out a statement. They call the game is described as a 3D choice-driven adult visual novel with a huge focus on incest and male domination. Wild. All right, here. The developer said, I fully understand that for many people, such things may be disgusting, but during sex, people should really do what they want, as long as they don't harm anyone. If after reading our statement, you still believe that such a game should not have been created, then we sincerely apologize to you. At the same time, we would like you to be a bit more open to human fetishes that don't harm anyone. Even though they may seem disgusting to you, this is still just a game, and although many people are trying to make it into something more, it remains and will continue to be a game. So, that's their defense of it. That's their defense of the game. That's so insane that that was a thing. But it has been taken down as of the beginning of the month, I believe. But I can't believe they try to defend it. That's insane. Zerot Games, the developer behind the game. So, if you see any games from that developer, no. That's awful. It's just awful. People are just so dumb. Anyway, moving on. Is Razer pulling sales from the US because of tariffs? Question mark? Maybe. I haven't seen an update to this, and I did loosely looked for one. So Razer pausing sales in US as tariff fears grow. This is as of the 9th, so a couple weeks ago. Jordan Midler, VGC. So Razer has paused sales for several of its products as fears around tariffs shake the tech industry. As the impact of the president's trade war is felt across the technology space, Razer is the latest company to make a move seemingly in response to economic uncertainty. Tariffs haven't officially been cited as the reason. Several Razer products have suddenly been made unavailable for pre-order. They said the public relations manager said that they don't have a comment at this stage regarding the tariffs, but the Blade 16 laptop and several other laptops were recently available for pre-order and have been removed. At the time of writing, direct links to those pages were previously available, now lead to an error message. So I don't know if any other companies have been pulling sales, from what I've seen. But it's been just a big will they, won't they with these tariffs. It's just all a game, chat. It's all a game. And we are the victims of it, regardless of what happens. Next up, a Quake 2 AI game was released and then subsequently roasted, which is awesome. This is Andy Robinson, VGC. So Microsoft's Quake 2 AI experiment sparks negative reactions. Was there a video to go with this? I don't remember. I looked at this before I left on vacation. There might have been, I think I looked up a video somewhere. But the Quake 2 demo is powered by Microsoft's new video game generative AI model Muse, which is this is a very different thing than what we were originally reading about when they were first talking about Muse. Where it basically just remade the game. Microsoft has launched the Quake 2 demo, which can be played via a web browser on Microsoft's website to show off the capabilities of Muse, but it insists that it does, quote, not intend for this to fully replicate the actual experience of playing the original Quake 2. Interactions with enemies need to be improved since they will often appear fuzzy, and that's because its current context length is 0.9 seconds of gameplay, 9 frames at 10 frames per second. It will forget about objects that go out of view for longer than this. So there are technologies, but everyone's been roasting. Much game very quick. We made a program that vaguely and inaccurately imagines what it might look like if you were playing Quake 2 right now. It requires all the same equipment you could instead use to actually play Quake 2, but requires a billion times more electricity, which is completely true. Because why use AI to make this when Quake 2 itself is so easily available and easily like powered, as opposed to having AI spend billions of dollars on electricity. Did anyone else see, in a side note, anyone else see that saying please and thank you to like the AI chats cost these companies millions or billions of dollars? So keep thanking them if you're using them. Don't use them, but if you are, make sure you're polite about it. What else did they say about this? So it just runs like shit, basically, they're saying. So it runs like shit because it's powered by AI. It's shit. It's all shit. Don't play it. Or if you do, don't tell me. All right, so did we talk about this? We talked about at some point, I think it was the last time we did this, we talked about Niantic being purchased by the Monopoly Go people. I'm gonna make a required Niantic game. What was the company name? Scopely. But now immediately after, hey, guess what? Now there's layoffs at Niantic. What a surprise! What a surprise, Chris Scully, VGC. So Niantic Spatial is laying off 68 staff following the acquisition of its games business by Scopely. The Monopoly Go maker acquired Niantic's game business, including Pokemon Go, for $3.5 billion, but then laid off 70 people. It was announced last month that Pokemon Go, yada yada, they purchased. Spotted by game developer, a worker adjustment and retraining notification report published in California has revealed the extent of these layoffs. According to the report, a total of 68 permanent layoffs were processed at Niantic, now known as Niantic Spatial, on March 20th and will be carried out May 20th. This is the second time in recent years that Niantic has carried out a notable number of layoffs at once. In June 2023, it was announced that Niantic was closing its LA studio and laying off 230 employees. So they were already laying people off, but what a surprise that they got bought and then immediately people started getting laid off. It just keeps happening. It just keeps happening. Next up, OpenAI is being sued by IGN and other games publishing sites / companies, not games, game news publishing sites. Chris calling VGC. It just depends on like which of these is owned by which company. So IGN and Eurogamer owner Ziff Davis is suing OpenAI for content theft. This is awesome. I love this. So the publisher, which lists IGN, Eurogamer, GamesIndustry.biz, Digital Foundry, Rock Paper Shotgun, VG247, and Hookshot, which operates Nintendo Life, Push Square, Pre-Or Xbox, and Time Extension, among its brands, sued the ChatGPT company on Thursday. The New York Times reported. This is a recent story. This came out today. Awesome. The lawsuit, which was filed in OpenAI's registered state of Delaware, says the company intentionally and relentlessly reproduced exact copies and creative derivatives of Ziff Davis's works, and by doing so infringed on its copyrights and diluted its trademarks. I think the defense of this was that it's fair use. A spokesperson for OpenAI told the publication that its use of copyrighted material was protected because it's grounded in fair use. ChatGPT helps enhance human creativity, advance scientific discovery and medical research, and enable hundreds of millions of people to improve their daily lives. Other publishers and content platforms, including the New York Times itself, have also been suing OpenAI for allegedly stealing their content. Earlier this month, a U.S. judicial panel in New York consolidated several copyright cases brought against OpenAI by the likes of New York Times journalist Ta-Nehisi Coates, I don't know how to say that, comedian Sarah Silverman, and others, including John Grisham, George R. R. Martin, and Jonathan Franzen. You know, authors and such. Other companies have chosen not to take OpenAI in court and have instead decided to make a deal with the company and license their content out for a large sum, which I guess is a way to do it. But it's the defense of this is so odd, saying that it's grounded in fair use when it's just plagiarism. Since when is it just allowed to plagiarize things? Right? Some of you out there are like book nerds. You know that's crazy. It's what a little shit this company is. Just a little shit, just being little shits. How dare they? Next up, hey guys, Discord. Hey, and anyone in chat use Discord? Anyone in chat use Discord, by the way? Raise your hand if anyone uses Discord. Oh wait, Discord might be fucked because the founder and CEO has stepped down, and the new CEO is a former Activision Blizzard vice chairman. So now, guess what, chat? Discord is now owned by someone who ran Blizzard. Yes, former, as in the dark times of Blizzard, before Xbox, Microsoft. So the founder of Discord has announced that he will be stepping down as CEO next week. In a message, this is recent, this was yesterday or today? Yeah, yesterday. It's Chris Sculling, VGC, by the way. In a message sent to Discord employees this week, Jason Citron, who founded and launched Discord 10 years ago, announced that as of April 28th, Humam Saknini, I don't know how to pronounce that name, would be replacing him as CEO. He was previously Chief Strategy Officer at Activision Blizzard, working on such series as World of Warcraft and Call of Duty. Will be the person to lead Discord to what Citron calls the next chapter of growth and someday becoming a public company. He was also CFO and later president of King before becoming vice chairman of Activision Blizzard until December 2023. Job of a CEO is constantly evolving, yada yada yada. He thanks the staff. This guy just, it's gonna be like when Twitter got sold. It's gonna be like that. It's gonna cost so much more to do anything on Discord. There's gonna be even more Discord microtransactions. In a separate statement, Saknini said his role was to help Discord grow towards becoming a public company while still ensuring it doesn't lose its core values. I'm incredibly excited to join Discord in such a pivotal moment, he said. Discord stands a massive foundational part of the gaming ecosystem that millions of players, developers, and publishers rely on every day. What Jason and Discord co-founder and CTO Stan, I'm not gonna be able to say that, have built is truly remarkable. A platform with an undeniable product market fit where hundreds of millions of people connect around their passion for gaming and shared interests. Guys, we might need to start looking at a different platform because this is not a good sign. This doesn't fill me with any type of confidence at all. This sucks. As of right now, I'm gonna say affirm this sucks. Obviously we can't tell the future, we don't know what's gonna happen, but at face value, it sucks. The last thing of bigger news, the BAFTA awards happened at the beginning of the month or / end of last month. And guess who the winner was? Astrobot. Again, Jordan Miller VGC. We'll go through the winners. But Astrobot wins best game at BAFTA. So again, just another awards show / event where it is confirmed Astrobot is GOATY. Astrobot's just GOATY. The other winners in categories, let's go start at the bottom here. Technical achievement was Hellblade 2. Makes sense. Performer in a supporting role was Still Wakes the Deep, Finlay. I don't even know what that game is. I'm sure they did really good. Performer in a leading role was the lead role in Still Wakes the Deep. Do I know what this game is? Do I know what this is? Is the game when you're on an offshore oil rig and things get gross? Sure. It's got good ratings. It's on Steam, pretty cheap, 20 bucks. Might be worth a little try. A new intellectual property, Still Wakes the Deep. Narrative was Metaphor Fantasio. Music was Helldivers 2. That's kind of crazy that it beat Final Fantasy and Black Myth Wukong and Astrobot. Oh yeah, let's go Helldivers. Multiplayer Helldivers 2, let's go. Game design Astrobot. Game Beyond Entertainment. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but Tales of Kenzera won that game, or won that category. Nice. Family game Astrobot, obviously. Evolving game Vampire Survivors. Cool, nice. Debut game Balatro, okay. British game, specific category for British game. Thank goodness you're here. Beat out Still Wakes the Deep, Senua Saga, Paper Trail, Lake Horizon Adventures, and Highland. How did this beat out those games? What is this? Thank goodness you're here. Oh, it's a little guy game. What the fuck? What is this? It's just a game about a little guy. I'll put this in chat. Guys, this game is just about a little guy. It actually looks super fun. I feel like I've seen this like 2 or 3 times. Best game, Astrobot. Audio achievement, Astrobot. Artistic achievement, the Neva development team. Okay. Animation, Astrobot. And game of the year, best game, Astrobot. So that's the BAFTAs. Let's go. Let's go Astro Booty and get rid of some of these tabs here. Moving on to the smaller news. There's a lot of these, but there's not a lot, but there's enough that it's gonna take a minute. Okay, starting with Nintendo. We all know the Switch 2 stuff came out. The Mario Kart Direct happened as well. They're out here defending the price for the welcome tour, the little mini thing that introduces you to the new console. They said $9.99 is not an exorbitant price. So Nintendo's Bill Trinan has defended the price of Welcome Tour on Switch 2, saying the amount of work that went into making it justifies the cost. So they've confirmed that Welcome Tour will be paid to download at launch, costing $9.99. A move which has drawn criticism from some players who feel it should have been included for free with Switch 2 console itself, which I agree with, because I'm sure a lot of work went into the Astrobot Playroom that was free with PlayStation. I'm sure a lot of work went into that as well. So I don't understand the logic here. Trying to explain that rather than a simple tutorial showcasing Switch 2's features, Welcome Tour goes into more detail in explaining the system's inner workings, and that in his eyes, the amount of work that went into creating the software justifies charging for it. For some people, I think there are people who are particularly interested in the tech and the specs of the system and things like that. For me, or for them, I think it's going to be a great product. It's really for people that want more information about the system rather than necessarily a quick intro to everything it does. But they could just do a Google search. They could just do, if they cared that much, they would just do a Google. If they cared that much, they would know about it beforehand. Any technical questions they would have, they would look it up before that, instead of paying the $10. When it's free information that you could just look up, why would they pay the $10 to like go into the little game to find it out? That doesn't make any sense. None of this argument holds water. It's lame. It should be free. If they were gonna charge for it, they should have put less work into it, maybe. And then on top of that, Reggie threw some shade, which is pretty funny. This is Jordan Miller, VGC. Reggie Fils-Aimé seemingly weighs in on Switch 2 Welcome Tour debate by highlighting the success of Wii Sports. Hey guys, do you think a lot of effort went into Wii Sports? Because I do, and I feel like it's actually a game too. Where's his quote? So there was a Wii Sports like podcasting interview, and he says it's an understatement to say that Mr. Miyamoto pushed back. Fils-Aimé said at the time, during the development of Wii and Wii Sports, the goal was we wanted the system to be attractive to not only the most active players but to new players. We saw Wii Sports as the way to be able to do that. And then he went on to explain in another clip that in the same podcast that the game was only packed in with the Wii in certain regions, which he argues led to the console being more successful in those regions than in its native Japan. In the Americas and Europe, Wii Sports was packed in, but it was not in Japan, which created a bit of a test market. It was obvious in the markets that Wii Sports was packed in. It was obvious in the markets that Wii Sports was packed in. Wii became much more of a phenomenon. Wii Sports became much more of a phenomenon. And then now they're putting in Welcome Tour, which isn't even a game. It's just like an introduction tutorial with details for $10. So like, what? How do you argue that? You can't. I don't think you can. And Wii Sports to this day is still a great game and one of the top selling games ever or something. But that's because of the bundle packaging. Continuing with Nintendo, they defend their low frame rate for screen sharing. It's gonna be a decent amount of Nintendo Switch 2 news gamers, by the way. This is Chris Scullion, VGC. Nintendo explains why Switch 2 game chat screen Switch 2 game chat screen sharing has a low frame rate. I think it was like that they want to conserve power for your game that you're playing. Where is it? In an interview with GameSpot, Nintendo Switch 2 hardware director Takuhiro Doda explained that the reason game chat screen sharing runs at a low resolution is to ensure it doesn't take up too much of the console's resources, which could affect gameplay. Obviously, chat is meant to run and work simultaneously and coincide with the game you're playing. But we also think it's critical that it doesn't get in the way of the game that's running right now. And so we wanted to definitely make sure that what we do was to make sure that running game chat alongside the game doesn't result in the game experience or quality being reduced in any way. So basically they reduced the incoming quality to keep the native quality like up, which makes sense. It does make sense. And again, it's just another one of them Switch 2 gimmicks, you know? So the developers from Switch 2, they say, or the third-party developers are really excited about the actual power coming from the console. Jordan Miller, VGC. Dozens of third-party games are coming to Nintendo's new platform. So where does it start? The Switch 2's horsepower made the Civilization team extremely happy, according to Dennis Shirk, an executive producer from the franchise. They say that working on the Switch 2 has been easy. Their software development kit is great. The customer support, the developer support, developer relations is all great. So that's Civ 2. Other developers such as Hogwarts Legacy developer Avalanche Software has been working on porting it Switch 2 for around a year. We originally started with our Switch version. We got very good results really quickly, but we felt we could make a higher quality product if we brought in a lot of the high-res assets and raise the resolution, textures, lighting, and world streaming. So there's going to be more DLSS, more ray tracing. Not a lot of ray tracing, but you know, a little bit. So the third-party developers are super excited. It's been super easy for them, which makes sense. I mean, they did, you know, market the Switch 2 in the direct as just a bigger, more powerful Switch. Next up, Switch 2 edition titles contain both the game and upgrade on the card. I'm gonna say card. So it has been confirmed, kind of. So Nintendo has clarified the situation regarding physical Switch 2 edition cartridges. So there was a story before this one came out, I think a week before, where someone said that most of the games are gonna be just like download codes and not the actual game, or the upgrade is going to be in the form of a code. But Nintendo has now stated that this is not the case, and that Switch 2 edition games will contain both the game and the upgrade on the cartridge itself. So instead of the game plus like an upgrade code or just a full-on code, they are going to have a physical cartridge that is the upgraded version. In a statement to Vooks, I don't know what Vooks is, a Nintendo spokesperson said physical versions of Nintendo Switch 2 edition games will include the original Nintendo Switch game and its upgrade pack all in the same game card. They are exclusively Nintendo Switch 2 game cards with no download code. Alternatively, some publishers may release Nintendo Switch 2 edition games as download codes in physical packaging with no game card. So it has been confirmed from Nintendo directly. We'll see if it's actually true in a couple months. But you should be able to buy the cartridge for the Switch 2 edition of whatever it is, and it be the full everything on that, which is super convenient. Hopefully it stays like that. Let's skip over this one and move to the last of the, I think this is the last of the Nintendo stuff. Yeah. So this one was a little bit surprising. Shuhei Yoshida says that Nintendo is losing their identity and is not a big fan of the Switch 2. It makes sense, but it's also like, oh man. So he says Switch 2's focus on power is what other companies would do. In an interview with Easy Allies, Yoshida was asked what he thought about Nintendo Switch 2's Direct, and he replied that he thought it was a departure from the level of innovation typically expected of Nintendo when it comes to new hardware. To me, it was a bit of a mixed message from Nintendo. In a sense, I think Nintendo is losing their identity, in my opinion. For me, they are always about creating some new experience, like designing hardware and games together to create an amazing new experience. But Switch 2, as well as we all anticipated, is a better Switch, right? It's the larger screen, more powerful processor, high resolution, 4K 120 FPS. They even had a hardware person starting the stream, like other platforms do, right? And because it's a better Switch, the core premise of the whole Switch 2 is we made things better, and that's something other companies have been doing all the time. So he's not a big fan of just making the same thing but better, which I get. It's not a whole new redesign, a whole new console, as you know, like GameCube to Wii or Wii U to Switch, which isn't even that much bigger, but like I get what he's saying. But it's also like, yeah, we want the higher specs, we want the more powerful machine, you know. It didn't really matter what it was going to look like as long as it was more modern specs. That's really what most people cared about. They didn't really care that it's an exact copy of the previous console. I mean, it's gonna sell. I mean, there literally yesterday at my workplace, there was a line at the GameStop nearby, out and around the building, to get Switch 2 console pre-orders, which you didn't even have to wait in line to do that. But there was people, like, everyone's looking to get it. It's gonna sell. It's gonna sell great. And Mario Kart is gonna be the highest selling game of this year, probably, like easily. All right, so that's it for the Nintendo stuff. Let's move on to, actually no, that's not it. We have one more Nintendo thing. The Paul Rudd commercial. We almost forgot. This was so cool and cringe and great. So Nintendo brought back Paul Rudd, who did the SNES commercial back in the day. I think it was SNES. Andy Robinson VGC. So let's watch the original. Let's watch the original first. Let's watch the original. This is the SNES 1991 Paul Rudd commercial. We're gonna get a strike for this. Watch.
This kind of power, flying, crashing, feeling.
Yeah.
When you decide
Sim City.
there's only one place to come.
Zelda.
The games of Super. No one else
Whoa.
creates this kind of experience.
Whoa! Look what he's doing.
No one else creates the games.
New Zelda and
Now
football
you're
to
playing
come.
with power, superpower.
And then let's watch the new one and compare. 1991 was a pretty decent year. I was there for it. Hold on, it's stuck. Gamers, hold on, it's stuck. It doesn't want to full screen correctly. There we go. Yeah, I'm just saying, you know, 1990s were, you know, good in general.
You decide to step up to this kind of play.
Look, he's back, and he's got the same outfit
Kind of fun.
and the same hair. He's doing the game
This
chat.
kind of experience.
Nice jacket, Paul.
Why are you dressed like you're in a boy band?
Seriously? My Super NES 90s with my long black duster, indie rocked hair, and beaded necklace?
Now we're playing with power.
Uh-huh.
Come on.
Hi, Uncle.
Lisa.
I can't wait to tell my class how I clowned you guys.
You get clown.
That's a lot of lip out of you, Lisa. Time for our thumbs to do the talking.
It's a much longer commercial.
How are you going that fast? You don't even have an actual driver's license. Let me show you a little something I learned 1900s.
The
I'll be
1900s.
honest with you, that was purely accidental.
You really cute, but you're gonna lose.
Don't be so
She's in
serious.
first.
I take tons of supplements. She's on a wall. She's on a wall.
Lisa, get down. You're not allowed to
She's
do
a
that.
cow.
My head is a burger, and you know what that means? I don't exactly. It means something good.
Anyway, that's the new commercial. It's the same shit. It's pretty funny. They make fun of him. He's got fog. He's got a fog machine.
Nintendo.
So that I like that. That was pretty fun. Paul Rudd, he's cool. Now, hey, now we're done with the Nintendo stuff. Moving on to Assassin's Creed. A couple stories here. I think, or maybe it might just be one story. Assassin's Creed has become Assassin's Creed Shadows, which was mired in quote unquote controversy online, is the second best selling game in the US right now, or as of 10 days ago. This is Jordan Miller for GC. So according to data from Circana, the game trails only Monster Hunter Wilds in the overall year-to-date charts in the US. Assassin's Creed Shadows has been the best-selling video game in the US for each of its first 3 weeks in market. According to Circana Retail Tracking Services, dollar sales lays data. It currently ranks number 2 year-to-date, trailing only Monster Hunter Wilds. So that's pretty cool. The fact that, you know, people were so upset about it, but it becomes the number 2 game so far of the year, which is, I like that a lot. That's awesome. I'm not gonna play it, not because of any sort of controversy thing, but because I don't have time to play an Assassin's Creed game ever. Not when you have all of these other games that literally just came out, such as what's the Expedition 33 game, and then there was the game that just came out before that as well. I forgot the name. And then there's just so many. There's too many games, guys. There's just too many games. People have been upset about this game for things such as the female protagonist, the fact that it's a two person story, which some of them are like that, but it's a female protagonist or a black samurai, and they're all upset about there being a black samurai, and everyone's just like, it's a fucking video game, my dudes. It's a video game. Shut up. Just shut up. Who cares? Play the video game. Boo-hoo is right. Anyway, good for them. Good for them. Next up, the Dune survival game has been delayed. I'm pretty excited for this game. Unfortunately, it has been delayed. Funcom has delayed its Dune survival game due to beta feedback, which that's not a good omen. Andy Robinson, VGC. Dune was to launch on PC via Steam on May 20th, but this will now be postponed until June 10th with an early access start on June 5th. Funcom announced Tuesday. We have a very active Discord going with our beta testers where our developers can interact directly with them to ensure we collaboratively make Dune Awakening a better game. Thanks to this process, we've concluded that with a bit more time to cook, we can act on a lot more of the feedback we know is important to our beta testers. This is super awesome that they have beta testers, and not even alpha testers, beta testers. And they're listening to them, and they're saying, hey, what do you not like about this game? And then they're like, okay, we'll do something about it. Hopefully that's actually what's happening. I can't wait for this game to come out. Dune is awesome. It looked pretty cool from that original like teaser trailer that we saw. I forget which event it was, but it looked pretty cool. Hopefully this actually is helpful and they don't release some sort of broken mess. So, moving on. There are scammers out there pretending to be Witcher 4 beta code things. CD Projekt Red has officially warned everyone that, hey, there are scammers out there. We have no such Witcher 4 beta going on. So if you were getting contacted to enter in for a Witcher 4 beta, no, they're not doing that. This is Chris calling VGC, by the way. They're not doing it, so stop it. Stop it. Don't do it. It's a scam. And then next up, something that I'm sure everyone's aware of, Oblivion. That's another game that I would love to jump into and play. Is out now. I believe it's on Game Pass. Yeah, it is on Game Pass. Oblivion Remastered is available. A lot of the OG like bugs and mistakes are still in it, which is awesome. Jordan Miller VGC. But nothing too much to read here, just that it's back. And it looks very nice. It looks very pretty. It is a huge step up from the original. Huge step up. Okay, and then the last story that we'll be doing today. Again, we'll do more chat pick stuff next week, but this will be the last one we do today. The Ghost of Yote release date has been announced. This is super exciting. I can't wait for this game to come out as well. And I wish it was coming out later. So the release date is October 2nd, 2025. Still a ways away, but like if the games could just like stop for like just all games stop for like 6 months and there's just no games that come out, that would be pretty sick, honestly. That would be pretty awesome. But it's gonna come out PS5 October 2nd, 2025. $70. Hopefully we have time to play it. Oh, what the fuck? Hold on. There's a sick collector's edition here. Look at that cool ghost mask. Whoa. I'm not gonna get it, but it definitely looks super cool. Definitely looks super awesome. How much is this? It doesn't say, huh? Or does it? It doesn't say. In-game mask for pre-orders. Announced the collector's edition. Includes all the pre-order bonuses, all in-game items from digital deluxe edition, digital copy of the game, as well as a replica display edition of Atsu's ghost mask. Wait, it's not even a physical copy in here? That's kind of lame. I don't like when these collector's editions do digital copies. That kind of defeats the purpose of getting a collector's edition, because you get it for the things, and when you take away one of the things, it makes it less than, and I don't like that. I don't like that. I guess I get it that it drives the price down because the game's not in there physically, I guess. But give me the disc if you're gonna do a collector's edition. What the fuck? God. Anyway, that's it for today and this week and these first 3 weeks of the month. Thank you, gamers, for hanging out. This was a fun time. Anyway, check out the links in the chat. YouTube, Twitter, Discord, TikTok. We will be doing this again next week, but the following week we will be gone again because of PAX East. But we'll be right back at it. We'll only be missing 1 week theoretically. So we've got today stream, tomorrow no stream, next week streams, and then we might do we'll still do a Tuesday stream before PAX East, but after that, after the 6th, we'll be gone for like 5 days, and so on and so forth. But check out the link in chat. We'll have this uploaded by Monday the latest, so it'll go up pretty soon. Don't worry, we'll get back to Alan Wake. We'll finish that up. Maybe we'll do something extra. I don't know. We'll figure it out, gamers. Just, join the Discord for alerts and stuff. But that's gonna be it for me for this week. Thanks everyone for hanging out live, and make sure you comment in the comments how much you hate this or like it or more stories. That's gonna be it.